So we learned quite few exaggerations. And the last one was самый. The same, very. So самый, how would we adjust it to genders of nouns? It would be самый, самый, самая, самая, and самое, самое. Very important. Russians use it a lot. You will read it and you will hear it from Russians. Well, but we can add a little thing to самый, самая, самое. Do you remember how to say that? Тот. Тот. Та. And то. So, тот дом. Та машина. То окно. That house. That car. That window. Very important. So we got masculine, feminine, and neutral. Well, and if we combine these two words, namely in тот самый, та самая, то самое, we will have the meaning the same, exactly the same as самый, самая, самая, but another very important meaning will be added as mentioned before. So if we will say тот самый, та самая, то самое for different genders of nouns, we would have a meaning as mentioned before. Besides the very and the most the same. So let's work on this. Again, I will write it for you, and I would suggest you to write it also. Тот самый, самый, та самая, самая, and то самое, самое, то самое. Again, the very, the same, but also as mentioned before. So, as mentioned before, тот would be that very. Actually, it gives also it conveys the meaning of as mentioned before, the same. So, that very house, that very car, that very window. Yes, basically, it got some resemblance with English, so you can use it as helpful for the memory. Especially, you will come across to that very. Тот самый is used quite frequently in Russian language, and it's important to know how to adjust it to the gender of the noun and how to understand where it comes from in the particular sentences. So how would we say that very home? So the home as mentioned before. Тот самый дом. Тот самый дом. So, тот самый дом. The very, so, that very house, that very home. And we can also add what. So, if we put what тот самый дом, we are pointing at something. This very same house. Вот тот самый дом. I want to point at something and I'm saying that very same house. Вот тот самый дом. And how would we say that very car? Та самая машина. 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 And in a it's feminine. So we cannot say самая машина because we cannot say very car. Very car does not have any meaning. But та самая машина, the very car I was mentioning before, та самая машина. Та самая машина, та самая машина. And we can also say вот та самая машина. I'm pointing at the car and I'm saying here, the very same car I was mentioning before. Вот та самая машина. And let's assume we were speaking about some place And I was explaining how wonderful it is and everything about this place. And now I want to tell you, here, this is the very same place I was mentioning before. Place was место. Место is place. It's neutral, so we need to take самое. We cannot say самое место, the very place. We need to have то самое место. То самое место. То самое место. То самое место. The very same place I was mentioning before. So, this same place. And what то самое место? Here is the very same place I was mentioning before. Вот то самое место.